hate doing this, but I've got to do this. Right, I want to try to explain something. And the best way to do it, I think, is to do this, because then, if nothing else, I can look back in a minute and think, okay, right, I'll explain this. I'm trying to explain something that sounds like a bit of a bizarre claim. But I claim to be able to perceive my birth. And I'll go into that, how that came about, in another little short one of these. But at the moment, this is so that I can explain to a lady, I have already explained that to, how I believe that, how it left me feeling in other ways, which is what we were really trying to talk about, because of my circumstances now, which is again another one of these. So, but I can't think of it now. I saw it as like it's almost like a post-traumatic stress syndrome flashback, in as much that, having had a near-death experience at birth, it was almost like I was frozen in that shock moment, which I perceive, but could never explain how I saw it then, and never could, because I couldn't then. That was my first ever experience. It wasn't my first ever experience, no. Because I perceived, and this is the important thing, I perceived a difference. I perceived the moment where suddenly all was not well, which indicates that before my birth, clearly there was a conscious creature aware of its surroundings. And part of that shock moment is going to have to have been the first use of my lungs. Lots of key, critical things happen at that moment. Now, as that reperception of my environment happened, and that moment was frozen in my mind with that shock, I've always felt like I'm in Groundhog Day. So this bit now, at the end, it's almost a relief. But it's not so fearsome, because this is how I felt just prior. As I approach now, I remember this feeling. And it was just prior. It was the feeling prior to the worry of this impending something's wrong. That moment, it must have been that moment, as I approach that moment now. And I have done in my life before. I nearly drowned once, which were very, very close. And I remember that feeling then. And it was that feeling then that freed my soul for a period to realise that in reality, when that moment happens, it will only happen once. So the constant daily fear of it is the fear is the mind killer. It's totally true. The constant fear of it every day is a waste of space and time, because it's only ever going to happen once. When it does, you ain't going to do diddly about it. Nothing you can do about it. That's the shock and horror and fear of it. Like, whoa, I can't get out of this one. This one's for real. It's just prior then. So who knows? Who knows what this next moment will bring? For my consciousness, I know what's going to happen to this, and that's spooky to look at that and think what that will become, without a shadow of doubt, one way or another. That's what that's going to end up like. But this very, very interesting. So this is why I refer back to this other principle. This is a response also to something I saw on the internet, which made me feel I wanted to voice my feelings on it also, because I very much believe this is... I would love to say I'm sure I've done it once already, because I did mark myself a period in my life in time where I could get back to precisely because it impacted on me at such a moment when I was already looking into this sort of stuff, and it did make me wonder where I was just about to step through one. And that was the principle of this thing, is to be able to be balanced in your mind and spirit and soul to that moment. You must not panic. You must be clear in your views and feelings and thoughts and things, and focus yourself in preparation for a launch into a new conscious dealing of things. We deal with things, human creatures are amazing when you think about it. When you think about what this brain does and all the rest of it, you're talking about moving from one consciousness to another. Look at this thing. How many people can you see do magic with these things and move across? How do we get our minds to do this? Think about this. How do you get your minds to do these things? Think how incredible this creature is and how we handle it. And now we're finding that even without the biomass, it's so critical, we can make our minds do things that are also very interestingly amazing. There's a lot to this consciousness in this creature that I've come to love for so long. Consciousness is separate. It was here first. Can't have it without the other. You've got to have consciousness to have any fixed reality. And of course there is a plummeting spiral. I don't think there is infinite universes at every moment in time. There are infinite potential universes for A to B, sure, but only few possibilities. So who knows? I don't think ever, and then we involve time. At what slice in time do we determine a new universe? I would compromise on a matrix type concept of a universe, which would be very interestingly calculable, could be tested and theorized on, if there is such a matrix of universes. I don't think I want to play with my consciousness or something like that. It could be as precious as they say, who knows. Anyway, waffling. That's why, yes, you're right, sorry. But I'll stop that. Busted. Forgot about the fucking bomb.